Welcome to this edition of Hardin County Extension Today. I'm Riley Pike.
And I'm Josie Pike.
We are super excited to be in this show today. We are showing goats, but first we are going to meet our judge, Courtney.
My name is Courtney Bartonslogger. I currently live in Paris, Kentucky. I work for Central Kentucky Ag Credit. I've been there for 5 years in marketing, and I grew up on a commercial cow-calf and tobacco operation in Mount Olivet, which is in Robertson County, the smallest county in Kentucky. The kids are in charge of these projects from the time they get them until their very last show. So they're the ones that are in charge of feeding them every day, making sure they have clean water, exercising them, maintaining their hair and skin coats, and then clipping them before the show and exercising them daily. So there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of different things they learn about as far as feed rations and being able to learn how you're supposed to manage an animal to get it to a certain weight and make it look its best for show day. So we'll have lambs, pigs, goats, and cattle, and so we'll be evaluating the animals based upon their composition and the way that they're built. And this allows the kids to be able to get out here and present the projects they spent all this time working with this summer. Things have been a lot different with the corona pandemic, and a lot of the shows have been canceled, so the kids haven't had the opportunity to get out here and present these animals. So this is a good thing we're able to have this show today, and in person. There's been a lot of virtual shows, so this is nice to let them get out and be with their friends and also exhibit all the hard work they've put forth. So showmanship is based upon how the exhibitor presents their animal. So different species, it kind of varies, but the main thing is someone that can get out here and present their animal to the best of its ability, someone that stays calm throughout the whole time, even if their animal wants to act up. They get the feet set up correctly so it's presented well. Someone who maintains good spacing from me, that keeps their animal far back enough away that I can see it, but also not right on top of the other exhibitors. One that remains good eye contact, someone that knows where I'm at all times, and someone that can just present the animal to the best of their ability. I'm excited to be here and look forward to judging this show today. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So how much does your hog weigh?
230.
230, and what are you feeding?
Lancer from Brandenburg.
Okay, thank you. How much does your hog weigh?
216.
Okay, and what are you feeding it?
The Linder 16-foot meal.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you guys for having me out to judge your show today. Let's give these young ladies a round of applause. Okay, I think they're both doing a really good job out here. I think they've got the basic fundamentals down of knowing how to position their hog. The young lady in the striped shirt will be our champion in this division today. I think just super intense, good with your eye contact, and able to get that pig where you need to go and show all sides of it. There's a few times where you get on the same side as me, so I'd encourage you to maybe watch that. You want to make sure you're on the opposite side of the hog than me. The young lady in the pink, you'll be second today. I think, again, good job in terms of your eye contact and intensity. And maybe not use that extra hand on the pig. Make sure you want to hold that back, and make sure you're always on the same side, the opposite side as me, okay? All right, good job. How's it going? How much does your hog weigh?
240.
240. And what are you feeding it?
I'm feeding it show rice tea, and I put water in it, some oats in it, and then I give it 1 and 2 and 9.
Okay, thank you. How are you?
Good.
I'm doing good. How much does your pig weigh?
210.
210. And what do you feed your pig?
What do I feed my pig? Lemon
Okay.
and chicken. And it made her, she was small at the beginning. She was born on January 5th. The way that I like this pig is how long she is, and she has bony legs.
Okay. All right. You're doing a good job. I think they're both doing a good job out here. I know the ring's a little tough where it's so kind of narrow and long. It becomes hard to kind of drive your hog. I think they're both doing a good job, and I think both their pigs are not wanting to fully cooperate for them. I think it becomes tough, and honestly, I could see someone going either way. I think the young lady is doing a really good job of remaining cool and calm and collected, even though her hog's not wanting to cooperate here towards the end. I think one that's really good in terms of her eye contact and intensity and able to get that pig and drive it. Very knowledgeable when I asked her a question. The young man, he does a really good job too. Very intense as soon as he comes in the ring. Maybe you want to get up on the head of the pig a little too much. Maybe you want to make you come back a little bit more. But I think you do a really nice job in terms of getting the pig to go where you want it. I know we only have one showman here. I think she's doing a really nice job. I think, again, has the basic fundamentals down. Really good in terms of her eye contact and intensity. Maybe some things I'd want to tell you to change is I would prefer if you would set the feet first and then go into bracing it and not pull so much on the head. When we pull on the head, they tend to want to back up from us and pull away. So just some things to work on for next time. But again, I think you're doing a really good job. Congratulations. So how much did your goat weigh?
I don't remember. I wasn't there when we weighed it.
What do you feed it?
I feed it the goat, Purina goat grower.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
How are you? How much does your goat weigh? And what do you feed it?
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're doing good.
Thank you.
How much does your goat weigh?
74.
And what do you feed it?
Unbartered goat growth.
Okay. How much did your goat weigh?
73 pounds.
And what are you feeding it?
Peppers, Hardin County, special feed mix, 14% protein.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's give our junior exhibitors in the goat division a round of applause. I think we're doing a good job out here. The young lady in the purple is going to be our winner today. I think just one that's really good in terms of knowing what to do when she gets out here. I think one that kind of sets the feet the best up for me today. I think, again, good in terms of her eye contact and knowing where I'm at on the right side of the goat at all times, and that's why you're going to go ahead and win today. I know your goat wasn't wanting to cooperate when you're bringing it into the ring, but I think you handled yourself well and stayed calm and cool, and that's kind of what it's all about when it's about 90 degrees out here. It's pretty hot. Young man in the plaid, he'll be in second today. I think, again, we talked about some things to do differently, but again, really good in terms of knowing where I'm at and your eye contact and your intensity. Just want to make sure you get your feet set up and then go into bracing it, okay? And just know when you came in, you're on the opposite side. So you always want to stay on the opposite side of the judge. The young man that's going to come in next, I think, again, really good job, very knowledgeable about his project when I asked him this question. Just goat not wanting to cooperate for him today, and that happens. But again, I think he remained calm and good at the way he handled it. And the young lady that's going to round out the class, I think, again, doing a good job with this project. Just got some things we need to learn in terms of staying on the right side and lining up correctly. But let's give them a round of applause as they exit the ring. Good job. I know we have some goats out here that are not wanting to cooperate the best, and for these showmen, I think they're all doing a really nice job. The top three ladies, I think, are doing a really nice job out here. The young lady I went with, I think just one that did the best in terms of getting off of the goat and being the smoothest around it. The young lady, that's why you're going to be in second today. Maybe one I want to see you just get off your goat just a little bit faster when I come around to the front to see it. But I think one that does a good job in terms of getting it set up and your eye contact. I just work on that, and I think that will make you win this class today. The young lady that's going to be in third, I think, again, really good in terms of your intensity and your eye contact. You need to work on making sure you have it set up correctly. There's a few times right now, for instance, their feet are not set up correctly. I personally like if you set the feet first and then go into bracing. And again, let's not try to pull on their heads so much. When we pull on their heads, they tend to want to back up from us. And so just like imagine if someone was pulling on your head, you would want to back up. So just try to ease into them. The young lady that's going to come in next, really good in terms of knowing where I'm at. You're always looking at me dead on. I really appreciate that. Just again, let's make sure our feet are set up. That's why you're going to be in the place you're at today. We're over here on profile. That back foot just was not set up correctly. Young man in the Navy there, coming in 5th today. Really good in terms of your intensity as well. Your goat's just not wanting to cooperate for you. It's just wanting to continue to pull back, and I think again just work on not pulling up on the head. And I know it's hot and not wanting to cooperate the best for you. Individual coming in next, I think again animals that's not wanting to cooperate for you as well. But there are a few times like we're up here on profile and I came around, you went behind the animal, so make sure you just go in front when I do front view, okay? And then the individual that's coming in next, I think again, your animal just not wanting to cooperate for you as well. You're doing a really nice job out here, but let's give all these kids a big round of applause. I think both of these individuals out here are doing an awesome job. There's just some small things that separate them, and for just personal preference, I'm going to use the young lady in the green. I think just the way you are standing in front of your animal and you're able to get in front of it a little bit more and get off of it when I come around is why you're going to be our champion. The young lady in purple, you do a really, really good job again. Just maybe want to see you stand up a little bit straighter more in front of your animal. And maybe sometimes when I come around, just want to step off of it so I'm able to see it. But both of these young women do a really nice job. Congratulations. What's your goat's name?
Annabelle.
Annabelle. And what's your goat's name?
Mocha.
What is it?
Mocha.
Mocha. I like that. Well, let's give both of our Clover showmen a big round of applause. They are doing an awesome job out here. I think both of them are doing really well. They tell me I have to pick a winner, which is really tough. I think there's some stiff competition, but I think the young lady in the plaid will be our champion in this division today. I think, again, really good in terms of her eye contact, and she's able to try to get it braced. A few times you want to try to make sure you're on the opposite side of me, but doing a really nice job out here. And the young lady in the pink, you'll be a reserve showman today. I think, again, doing a really, really nice job. Let's give them a round of applause as they exit the ring. Young man's doing a good job out here. He'll be our champion in this division. I think a showman that's got the basic fundamentals down in terms of what he needs to do. Maybe some things I just encourage him is to work on getting that steer's head up just a little bit more, and maybe try to get him to walk into place. I know you're having some trouble getting his front feet to get into the spot you want him over here, but I think you're doing a really nice job, very knowledgeable about your project. Let's give him a round of applause. How's it going? Good? How much does your calf weigh?
12.
Okay, and what all do you feed him?
It's a 4-way with extra corn from chicken.
Okay, thank you. How much does your steer weigh?
14.50.
Okay, and what breed is it?
He's a short.
I think both these young ladies are doing a really, really nice job out here. I think it gets really tough. The young lady over there is going to be our champion. I think just does a little bit better job of getting those feet set up correctly. The young lady, showed all day. You're super intense. I think you've got the basic fundamentals down. Reason you're going to be second is over here. Your feet just were not set up correctly on either end, so just work on that. But I think both of them do a really, really nice job in terms of getting these cattle shown. Let's give them a round of applause. A nice single entry to start off our market hog show here. I think this young man's doing a nice job driving this hog. I think one you can really appreciate for its stoutness and build at the ground. I think one that's really big boned. Maybe one I want to make a little bit wider out of its chest floor, but I think one that's able to get out and drive really well, pretty flexible off both ends of its skeleton. I think one that just needs more time on feed. Good job. Pair of market hogs here. I think the young lady in the stripes driving the gilt's going to be your champion in this division today. I think one, you just really study the way this one's built, really wide and square and really big bone for at the ground. I think at the same time when she gets its head up and drives it, one that really drives with a really nice silhouette. Be critical, maybe I want to make its hip just a little bit longer, but I think one that's got plenty of fill and dimension. Not to take anything away from the young lady's barrow coming in second there. I think at the same time, one that's built correctly, one that's really expressive in terms of its muscle shape, but at the same time, maybe want to make it a little bit taller to the point of its shoulder, maybe extend it out there. But I think just one that just doesn't compete with the overall look and composition of the one that's going to win. Congratulations to both you girls. A little bit more challenging class here. There's two hogs and I want to change different things about both of them. And if we could fix and kind of combine them, I think we'd have one really good pig. The one I'm going to choose to win is the young lady in the pink shirt. I think just the most complete in terms of it being sounder, in terms of its skeleton. I think that's where it's going to win today. I think one that's able just to get out and flex a little bit easier off both ends. At the same time, I think one that's just really big and bold in terms of its center rib, one that you really can like that about it. I think I want to make a little bit more expressive in terms of its muscle shape, maybe a little bit fresher there, and I think that's where the young lady's blue butts kind of counters it. One that's super expressive down its top and one from behind. It's just the front end of that hog's kind of giving out on it. Maybe one I want to fix there, but one that you got to appreciate for being super wide chested and pulled apart. Let's give them both a round of applause. Quality in this hog show. I know we haven't had a lot of numbers, but if I won't take long on this one, I think the one that's going to wins hands down for me. It's a middleweight hog of the young lady in the striped shirt. I think just really wins this pig show pretty handily. Good job. I think one, I talked about it in class, but I think the way that this one's built and constructed and the way she gets out and gets her head up and drives, I think does a really nice job. Congratulations. For reserve, I think it gets a little bit closer. I think, again, we've got two different hogs that have different strengths. The young lady out of the heavyweight will be our reserve champion today. Congratulations. Nice lamb to go ahead and be our champion in this division. I think it's seeing some competition in this natural weather. I think one you really have to appreciate when she gets it set up on the side and gets it braced. I think one that just has a really natural, good-looking silhouette, one that just is really attractive up through its front 1/3 and long-sided. I think to change it, maybe you want to make it a little bit more expressive down its top and from behind, but I think that will come with time with exercise and feeding programs at home. But really nice job. Congratulations. class to start off our market goat show, and I really wouldn't argue with you if you want to change around the way that I've placed these today. The young man in the plaid shirt will be our winner. I think one, when you get your hands on it, just solidifies its win. I think one that's the biggest over its rack and loin, the widest and squarest there. I think at the same time, one from the side kind of gets together and offers a nice silhouette. Maybe one want to be a little bit stouter in its bone work at the ground, but I think a nice place to start. The young man that's going to come in second today, when he gets this one and he walks it about the ring, I think one you can really appreciate, really tucked up in its chest floor and real attractive through its front 1/3. And it really does have a big loin in it. Maybe one I want to make a big square over its rack. And at the same time, when he gets it and braces on it, kind of wants to hunch underneath of itself, but I think that's just the way it's wanted to act today. But once he gets it on the move, one you can really appreciate. The young ladies that's going to come in next, I think, again, one you can really like for being bold and dimensional in terms of its rib shape. One that I think just needs to be a little bit cleaner and a little bit more extend up through its front 1/3. Maybe has a little bit more condition than I'd like on it today and for this stage in the game. The young man's just going to round out the class. Again, one you can appreciate for being really attractive through its front 1/3 and wants to get attractive from the side, but at the same time, I think one that just gets to be the lightest muscled and the narrowest made in the class. Good job, guys. Class here. I think the young lady in the green shirts goat just wins this class pretty easily for me. I think just the way this one's built comparatively, just one that's really wide and square, big-footed and stout at the ground. I think when you get your hands on it, one that's the widest over its loin, I think comparatively to this class, one that just gets real attractive in the way that it looks from the side and just offers a nice look from the side there. I think it gets a little bit closer between second and third. I wouldn't argue with you wanting to flip these. The young lady's brown goat, I think comparatively when you get your hands on it, compared to our winner even, I think is a little bit wider and squarer over its rack. One that you can appreciate for the length and extension. At the same time, I think from behind is where I want to change it. One that's just a little bit narrower made. Maybe want to make it leveler out over its hip. Young ladies that's going to come in next, I think offers a lot of width and dimension up through its center body. One that you have to appreciate there, and I think at the same time, one that's pretty wide and square down its top. One I want to make more expressive. I think one that you get behind it kind of narrows down. Want to make it a little bit wider there. Good job. And maybe want to just clean it up through its front 1/3. A young man rounding out the class, I think a really nice goat for him. One that's really attractive and feminine up through its front one. Feminine, what's the weather? One that's really attractive up through its front 1/3 and extended there. And I think one you can appreciate for that, but just want to make it wider out through its entire skeleton and offer more muscle shape. Good job. I think a nice class to round out our goat show here. I think the young ladies that's going to wins the class pretty easily for me. I think one that's just built most correct in terms of meat animal shape, one that's the lightest and squarest down its back and from behind, and I think one that just is really attractive from the side. From there, I think it gets a little bit more challenging. I think the young ladies that's going to come in next, again, one you can appreciate from the side, one that's real attractive and real extended up through its front. Maybe one I want to make a little bit leveler out through that hip, and comparatively one that needs to be a little bit wider and square made. The young ladies that's going to come in next, I think again, one you can appreciate from the side up through its hip forward. From its hip back is where I want to correct it, make it leveler, make it wider and square, and just pull it apart in its overall skeleton. The young ladies that's going to come in next, I think it's one that's really level made. You can appreciate that. One that's got dimension and shape to its overall rib. Just again, needs to be stouter at the ground and wider made. And young ladies that's going to round out the class, there's times where I really like this goat from the side. I think one that's attractive and one you can appreciate from there. So when I get my hands on it, one I want to make a little bit fuller and square over that rack. And I think just needs more time on feed. Good job. Good job. lineup of goats here. Let's give all of our goat exhibitors a round of applause. I think they're all doing a really nice job out here. I think we've got some quality out here in our final lineup. For me, there's just one that kind of, I think, rises to the forefront just of being the stoutest and widest and squarest made. The young lady out of our middleweight division there, you'll be our champion, and we'll bring in our reserve. We'll bring in the second from that class to select for reserve. Congratulations. Second place from the middleweight division. I think things get closer, but there's still one that I really like out here from the heavyweight division. Young lady, you'll be reserved today. Congratulations. You're doing an awesome job out here. I think it gets a little bit challenging to pick a champion as they're both pretty different in terms of what their strengths are. I think they're both pretty different, but for the market show today, I'm going to use the young lady in the plaid to be our champion and the young lady in the pink to be our reserve. Congratulations to you both. Thank you guys for having me out to evaluate your show. When Bonnie called me last year, I was excited to do it, and then honestly didn't know if it was going to happen with everything that's been going on. So you guys are extremely lucky that you're able to have your county fair in person. I know there's a ton of counties throughout the state and the country that are canceled, state fairs. I really hope we're able to have ours here, but you guys are really lucky. Make sure you thank your parents and your 4-H agents and your volunteers that have helped, today and have helped you throughout this whole process. I think you guys have a really good program, and the facilities here are amazing. I would have loved to have had a facility like this growing up in my county. But anyways, again, thank you for having me, and thank you to my ring help here. You guys have been good today to work with. And let's talk about the steers. We have our champion lineup up here from our steer show. The young man closest to the only young man in the ring is our lightweight steer here. I think one you can appreciate for being pretty wide and square. I think he's got some dimension and boldness to his rib. From a structure standpoint, I just want to fix him a little bit. I think one that just wants to get a little bit straighter off of both ends of his skeleton. Want to see him just be a little bit more flexible as he gets around the ring, but I think a nice, easy feeding steer for him. The young lady in the front with the mostly white calf is our middleweight there. I think, again, a really easy feeding calf for her. One that's just really square and wide. One that's bold and dimensional in terms of that rib. Maybe one I want to clean up through his brisket and extend through there. But I think one that just is able to get out and about the ring pretty well. Maybe a little bit straighter on that front end of his skeleton, but overall I think he's pretty flexible. And the young lady in the middle there, that's our heavyweight for the day. I think, again, one you can just appreciate for the things he combines and brings together. One that's pretty wide and square. One that you can just be is most attractive from the profile, I think, of the bunch. And I think has got some good days ahead of him. I'll go out here and show you the two that I like the best. But, again, thank you guys for having me. And let's congratulate all of our exhibitors today.
Thank you for watching this edition of Hardin County Extension Today. I'm Riley Pike.
And I'm Josie Pike.